Let's go back at Bill Belichick's last 3 or 4 years in his draft. They haven't been good. So stop.
They've been terrific, actually. They've been terrific.
It really hasn't. Because when they look at the draft, and they've gone through the draft, there was a whole thing. I forget what. I was watching YouTube.
Right?
Hold on.
You're only looking at first-rounders because Uche, Anthony Jennings, there's been a ton of picks in there.
They get players. That's right. But from what we've seen, Bill Belichick, year in and year out, when he nails in almost every single round, he hasn't. His drafts have not been good. Not where it was 5-6 years ago, where he was hitting. Besides first rounds, he usually hits on the second round. Third, fourth, fifth, he moves down, he moves up, he does that. And by the way, his last 3 years have not been great drafts. He gets players.
People are judging him off of that because N'Keal Harry has turned out to be a bust. But it just turns out that he doesn't know how to develop wide receivers. He has no idea what he's doing with those guys. But every guy that he's spent a draft pick on defense is a starter.
Carl says Tyler
Isaiah
wrong again.
Wynn,
They
David
saw
Andrews, Shaq Mason.
Carl says
Michael
Tyler wrong
Wanu.
again. They saw Bears move up to get Fields and saw what Bears have to give up in there and decided to hold tight. And Snug says Mac Jones week 16 is going to look 10 times better than week 2 Mac Jones, and week 2 Mac Jones
so
played
will
better
Zach
than half
Wilson.
the quarterbacks in the
So
league.
will
like
Justin
Mac
Fields.
Jones, so I don't understand what you're saying.
So will Justin Fields. So will Trevor Lawrence. They're all going to look better. Because when you give them a little bit of time, and when the game starts to slow, which usually happens later in the season when they figure things out, they're going to get better. If you don't think Zach Wilson will be better in Week 16, I don't know what the hell you're watching.
Dude, he's going to progress through the whole season.
Yeah, he is.
Judging him through 2 weeks is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. And I understand. You want to hate the Jets, hate the Jets. Don't hate on the kid because the kid made some mistakes. They make mistakes. They're going to make mistakes. Daniel Jones, look, his first year, he had 4 400-yard games, and the Giant fans wanted to throw him off a ledge. They still want to throw him off a ledge. He had a great Thursday night football game, and the Giant fans are still killing him on social media that he's not the quarterback of the future for the Giants, which is a crock of you-know-what, okay? Because he was the only really, what's the word? He was the only thing that stood out in that game. Daniel Jones was the only player that stood out in that game. Everybody else looked like crap.
Yeah, Sterling Shepard would love to have a word.
Yeah, well, good for Sterling Shepard. What did he have? 70 yards? That's a good game? Sterling Shepard, that's a good game for a wide receiver. Drops? He dropped a couple of passes.
Sure, he dropped a couple of passes. Slayton dropped a big one.
Galladay dropped a bunch, too.
Let's go to the statistics of the game, Speedy. When we're talking about it, Speedy, you should be bringing it up.
9 catches, 94 yards.
9 catches, 94 yards. How many touchdowns?
Nothing.
He didn't have any touchdowns. So, honestly,
well, that's not his fault.
Yep, again, if you look at what Daniel Jones did, he kept the Giants in the game. He kept them in the game.
Right.
And you want to know something?
They
should have won the game. Daniel Jones' touchdown, he should have had 2 running touchdowns, and he would have had over 100 yards. And to me, with all those drop passes, he would have threw 350 yards.
Right. And the touchdown that Darius Slayton dropped in the end zone is a touchdown.
But anyway,
the Giants should have. No, I'm not blaming Daniel Jones.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to help Errol here.
Help me. There's nothing to help. I'm just
Oh,
saying.
you need some help.
No, I don't need any help. Let's go into Week 2's games. And Jeff, being that you're on, I want to know what your thoughts to it. Obviously, Denver and Jacksonville. Denver losing Chubb. Von Miller is playing this coming week, but Denver's 2-0. Obviously, Teddy Bridgewater has been sensational. He really has. 26 for 34 last week, 328 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he's an efficient quarterback. And I think you could win with Teddy Bridgewater. You could. Now, obviously, they drafted Drew Lock. I thought Drew Lock was going to win the job. He didn't. And Jeff, we were talking about this after late. Was it late Sunday or mid Sunday? We were talking about how Bezos.
Done deal. Aaron Rodgers is a Bronco.
So we were talking about Aaron Rodgers being a Bronco next year. So even if Teddy Bridgewater has one of those, Pro Bowl years, which right now he's playing as good as any quarterback, he really is. Aaron Rodgers is as good. Jeff was saying if Bezos, the guy that owns Amazon, buys the Broncos,
that's a done deal too. He's getting the Broncos.
So what are your thoughts to the Broncos? Do you think that this team is for real this year so far? And first, Tyler, what do you think of the Broncos?
Am I allowed to answer this question, or it's just going to be, you can't talk about the Jets?
Go ahead.
So I actually had the Broncos as a playoff team, so nothing that's going on right now surprises me whatsoever.
Did you? Because I think
did.
Speedy was the only one that
No,
had.
Tyler did too.
I did. I did.
I think Speedy had them winning the fucking division.
No, I didn't. I had them as the last playoff team.
I like the team. Melvin Gordon needs to wake up. Cortland Sutton
Looked pretty good last week.
Cortland Sutton looked amazing last week. When you get Judy back, you get Deshaun Hamilton back, you have Tim Patrick back on the field. Noah Fant eventually will find a rhythm with Teddy Bridgewater. This offense is not going to be low your mind like Kansas City does. It's going to be sufficient enough, though, to win games. And this defense is going to be freaking amazing. Oh, amazing when fully healthy. Well, that's Fangio's forte. So, I honestly, and you're going into Mile High. I know, you're bashing the Jets.
By the way,
I don't see the Jets really having much of a chance.
If you look at the last 10 years, the Jets have played very good in Mile High. So
that's fantastic. You're getting a rookie quarterback that likes to sling the ball.
That's fine.
So I'm assuming that there's going to be a few more picks along the way.
Again, that's an attack to the Jets. Good.
Oh my!
Good.
How?
Good.
How?
Good.
How am I bashing the Jets?
By the way,
for calling out interceptions
I've heard
when
enough
kid
from
throws
you.
interceptions?
How about you, Speedy? What did you think about the Broncos?
The Broncos' defense was fantastic once again. Trevor Lawrence did not look good for his second straight game. Had a lot of incompletions, especially with the deep ball. Really could not get any of those other receivers involved, and the Broncos' defense deserves a lot of credit. Now, their offense, I think, could have been a little better against a bad Jaguars defense, but there were definitely some flashes. Bridgewater spread the ball around nicely. Javonte Williams had a nice game.
He looked really good.
13 carries, 64 yards, a couple nice runs as a whole, really showing what he could do. So there were definitely flashes. I think the all-around offense still could be a little better against a bad Jaguars defense.
You haven't seen the full offense together yet.
Well, no, of course not. But they still have a lot of talent on that team.
On the Jaguars?
The
Jaguars are not going to win a football game this
I think they will.
No, they will eventually.
Trevor Lawrence has got to figure things out. Once he does, and he gets comfortable in the pocket, it's going to take a couple of weeks. Things will start to slow down, and you're going to see Trevor Lawrence explode. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to, just as much as I think Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, I think all these quarterbacks, when things start to slow down from them, you're going to see a completely different quarterback.
I don't know. I don't see an easy win on the schedule for them anywhere.
Their schedule is hard.
Atlanta,
but they can win in the division.
Maybe the Jets.
They can win in the division. They can beat Houston. I mean, just because they lost the first game doesn't mean they can't win the second one.
They got blown out in the first game.
Yeah, okay. That doesn't mean they can't win the second one.
And honestly, don't be surprised if Deshaun Watson comes back at some point this year.
So the Texans? That's not going to happen.
There were stories coming out that now that Tyrod Taylor got hurt that they're kind of questioning and thinking that Deshaun Watson is coming back. And I think it would be for the best of his interest if Deshaun Watson comes back and has a good season.
Oh, I agree. I just don't think he's going to. I feel like he's just going to sit out. I don't think he likes the organization at all.
How about you, Jeff? What did you think about the Broncos and Jaguars game? Did anything stick out to you so far with the Broncos?
No, the Jaguars stink, so nothing really stood out. It actually ended up being a really costly game for them because of Chubb. And as far as the Broncos making the playoffs, it's not that they're not a good team, so I don't want to be taking a shot at them. But the Chargers look really damn good, and the Raiders are sneaky good right now, too. Like, I'm not sure the Broncos are better than any team in that division. That's a really tough division right now.
Mm-hmm. It is. It is. And Kansas City's a locked fort, so...
But don't take it as a shot at the Broncos.
No, I'm not. I don't really give a shit if you attack the team or not. That's not my thing. But
I realize this is off subject, but you guys really got to see where Jordan Alvarez just did baseball. This thing is still traveling.
Going into the Bills and Dolphins game, I understand the Bills won this game, and they needed this game, and they won 35-0. Josh Allen, the last 2 weeks, has not looked good. He's 17 for 33, 179 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. For a guy that made a lot of money this offseason, he's the highest paid quarterback in all of football, the guaranteed money that he got offered. Patrick Mahomes obviously got $500 million, but it's not all guaranteed money. He got the most guaranteed money out of any quarterback. Josh Allen the first 2 weeks has not looked at the top level that we saw him throughout the season last year. Now, obviously it's early, but this is a veteran quarterback. He's been in the league now. This is his 4th year. So we expect Josh Allen to really move forward, not move backwards. And let's be honest, he has not looked good, Speedy.
Yeah, I think the first game definitely showed a lot against the Steelers he still looked like I'm not going to say 2018 rookie year Josh Allen, but 2019 where he was still kind of finding his way. Now, this game he didn't have to do as much because Buffalo got out to an early lead.
He didn't look good.
He didn't look great. I'm not going to say that, but again, he didn't have to do as much because they had a pretty big lead, 14-0 for a while, 21-0. The defense really did a lot, and they were trying to run the ball.
The defense was amazing.
Yeah, they were trying to run the ball a lot more, get their running backs going, and I think the second half they were kind of taking him off, making more simpler throws with him. But yeah, he definitely doesn't look like the same from last year. He looks more like 2019.
I know it's early, but even watching him early, he hasn't looked good. So how about you, Tyler? What did you think of the Bills, and what do you think of Josh Allen? Week number 2, he has not looked good.
I think that this was a great statement for the Buffalo Bills. Listen, you lost a pretty embarrassing game to the Steelers because I think you should have blew their doors off. Devin Singletary looked freaking amazing.
Yes.
And that defense, like everyone's been saying, is for real. It's amazing that you have 2 elite defenses in the same division. They are top 3, borderline top 5, top 3 definitively defense in the NFL when everything's going right. And the fact that Josh Allen is struggling now is good news for Buffalo.
That's good news?
Get the struggles out now. Because when he gets clicking, this team's going to be a top 5 team in football.
So let me get this straight. You think Josh Allen, as the season progresses, everything will click for him, but the young quarterbacks...
I never said it wasn't going to click.
You made it seem like Zach Wilson's just going to get worse and worse.
No, I didn't.
Yes, Speedy, what was he just saying? He was telling, Zach Wilson this and Zach Wilson. Everything that comes out of your mouth is an attack to the New York Jets. And that's why I don't want to talk about the Jets with you anymore. Because you got
You're the one that keeps bringing them up.
No, I bring up the Jets game because I have to. Because obviously we have a lot of Jet fans that listen to this show. But again...
You're talking about the Bills and then you just turned it into
talking
about the Jets.
No, I'm bringing up the Jets because...
I still don't remember even bashing Jack Wilson.
Dude, all you do is bash Zach Wilson.
When have I ever bashed Zach Wilson?
All you do is bash Daniel Jones. All you do is bash those 2 quarterbacks.
I do bash Daniel Jones.
You always do.
I
always do. And,
right.
and that's your problem, is that you sit back, you think because the Bills, and obviously Josh Allen has had 2 bad weeks, as soon as he gets things going, everything's going to just fly for him. That's with any quarterback.
Played pretty well against the Steelers.
This is a veteran quarterback that got $280 million? He got a lot of freaking money.
6 years, $258.
And he got a lot of money. And a lot of guaranteed money. He should be playing and producing. He should not. Sam Darnold just looked better than him. Okay? And that's saying a lot when Sam Darnold was on his way out and probably was not going to have a job this year. And this guy, Josh Allen, who got all this money, has looked horrendous.
That's what happens when you leave the Jets. Everything just seems to work.
Yeah, okay. There you go, attacking the Jets again. Another thing up your ass. Anyways, Jeff, what do you think about Tua's injury?
I mean, it's par for the course for him. This dude isn't going to be able to stay healthy. He's too slight. He's had too many injuries already. You realize he's only started at quarterback now for 3 seasons at any level of football, right? Like the college one, whatever. And he's already having like all of these injuries, dude. They're just piling up on this kid.
Carl says
he has fractured ribs now.
Mm-hmm. Carl says, Speedy, do I drop Trace Sermon in fantasy? I wouldn't with all the other injuries in that backfield. Teddy 2 gloves. Speedy is still wearing the panties. Calm down. Snug says, interesting. Speedy sporting the panties. Normally the show talent either go with the tighty whities or they go sans underpants. Carl says, Brandon Cooks. Snug says, when the Jags play Houston without Tyrod Taylor, they could win. The Beeve. I told you Allen would take a step back. Snug says, #ban the Beeve.
I don't know if he's
It's not Allen that's taking, but it's not. This is unfair to Josh Allen because it's not Josh Allen taking a step back. This team got hamstrung by the salary cap move. Do you think that they wanted to let go of John Brown and bring in Emmanuel Sanders? I mean, this is Emmanuel Sanders' 3rd team in 3 years. Nobody wants it.
Didn't John Brown get dropped in preseason?
The Raiders,
the Raiders. He got cut off the Bills because he was making too much money, and they brought in Emmanuel Sanders, who has one catch.
One big play, and that's it.
No, I think John Brown actually got dropped with the Ravens in preseason.
The Raiders.
The Raiders.
Don't be surprised they bring him back.
Not to mention they couldn't bring back their other tight end in Tyler Kroft, so now they're dealing with Stonehand Dawson Knox, who's terrible, right? And Zach Moss is out, so they're only down to 1 running back.
Zach Moss is playing.
Well, he played in week 2, but he also got hurt later on, so I don't know.
Right, and he missed week 1. He sat out week 1.
Right.
A healthy scratch. He was a healthy scratch. He wasn't hurt.
They just say that. I don't know about it. How much are you going to buy into that?
So that's even better, right? He's so good. He's a healthy scratch.
No, I think Zach Moss is overrated. But what I'm trying to say is that it's not an injury thing. It was a Sean McDermott
Zach Moss overrated?
I don't think he's enough of a sample to be overrated.
He's not even that great of a player.
They got worse because of the
a lot
salary
of people
cap.
think he's
They had to
starting
let players
right
go on offense.
I don't think Zach Moss is that great of a player.
No, he's
I
not.
agree.
He doesn't
He's
have enough
not.
of
He
a
hasn't
sample
done
to
anything.
judge. Yeah.
I don't know why
he hasn't
anybody.
done
I've
And
never
Devin
heard anybody.
Singletary isn't. But Devin Singletary had a nice week this last week. But other than that, he hasn't really done much either himself.
Right.
Last
No, I
year
like
was
Singletary.
horrible for Devin Singletary.